Okay. Well, that was harder than I thought it was going to be. Okay, I gotta go get water for the paints. All right, be right back. All right. This is it, man. This is the green. I think I'm gonna fix Spencer's red there. This red flower looks a little wonky. Let's see if we can fix that. Do I not have what? Oh, for heaven's sakes. Well, we got one paintbrush. I'll be back. Alrighty then. So Let's do that first. So, in thinking about what I wanted to talk about today, I thought, some days are challenging and some days are not so challenging, but lately I've had some challenging days. And one of the things that's just happened recently, which is really weird, is that I thought about smoking. And I haven't smoked in decades. But it's almost like, I don't know, it's just a reflex when things get tough. You think about doing those things. I can't imagine what it's like to take some other kind of drug that actually, it's bad enough to smoke to kill you, but like other drugs, make you so you can't even function. So anyway, I've been thinking about this, and I think that part of it is that, for me anyway, smoking was a transition. So, up against the hard task, gonna paint the background of this giant painting that the kids started, and they have not finished. But, what to do, what's the next step, I'm thinking about it, and then I think, I don't even think it, it's just like I feel it. I feel like I need to smoke a cigarette while I think about it. It's very weird, because I haven't felt this way in decades, as I said. So I'm just wondering if other people feel the same way, if they've got things that were kind of transition crutches, like a crutch that you use to get you through from point A to point B. Yeah. So it's just kind of weird. I am not going to start smoking again. Don't worry. My mother died of, she died of a tumor in her brain, but the doctor said that it was probably lung cancer that metastasized to her brain because she smoked probably from the time she was a young woman. She smoked my whole life. I don't remember her ever quitting or trying to quit. I remember trying desperately to make her quit. I was probably 10 years old, and she smoked, I think they were called dent cigarettes. Does that sound right? And I took one of her little government pens, and they had lines on the cigarettes, like very faint lines on the cigarette papers. And I wrote, don't smoke, don't smoke, don't smoke, on all those lines. Tiny little print. And of course, that was probably really not very healthy for anybody. Cigarettes are bad enough, and then to add who knows what to the mix because of ink from the pen. She was so angry. And years later, I understood that anger when I was escaping a bad marriage, and I went to Montana and was staying with some people. And the husband of the duo was really a jerk, and he's a well-known author, so I'm not going to say his name. But he was a jerk, and he was a jerk to his wife and his children. He was a jerk to me. He was a jerk to this guy that lived there, who eventually became my second husband. So being an addict, a cigarette addict, I had saved up money in a jar, like a big, well, it was actually a water jug, and it was a lot of money. And so knowing that I was escaping, knowing that I may go through a period of poverty, because this is how you think when you're addicted to something, I used that money to buy several cartons of cigarettes. And back then, a carton of cigarettes cost, I'm thinking $20 maybe $30. But I bought several of them, and to me that was a whole lot of money, and it was fulfilling my addiction. And he took those cigarettes out of all of them, out of their packs, and left the empty packs. I was livid. I was livid because A, it cost a lot of money. B, that was my addiction. That was my tobacco to take that and, I didn't know what he'd done with it. Well, it turns out he just put it somewhere. He gave me the cigarettes, which were not now in a pack, penny packs, and so they got kind of crappy, they got stale. And so I can understand what my mom felt. I could understand in that moment what my mom felt. Having to deal with that, having to deal with a kid who did something bizarre, because that guy was like a kid. He was definitely like a kid. Okay, I'm going to go for the green. I hope that if I run out of this green, I can get more green of the same color. But if not, we will make something else in the background, and it will be fine. So let me just check, make sure my battery's not going dead. Nope. Okay. There goes nothing. I like this paintbrush. It's a filbert paintbrush, which refers to the shape of it. Because it's got kind of a filbert shape. I don't know if you can see that. It's got kind of a rounded, tapered edge. I don't know what real artists use it for, but for me, it's good for doing this sort of stuff when you're filling in an area and you're also, oh my gosh, I can never get mad at Spencer again for doing that. Oh jeez. Also for edges, it works pretty good. So anyway, yeah. It's a weird thing, so I have to find something to be my transition from one task to another, or from one thought to another, or from a level of difficulty to completion. And I'm not really sure what that could be. Obviously I don't want it to be another addiction like cigarettes, vaping, or alcohol, or anything like that. Of course, I would never do anything illegal. In Wisconsin, marijuana is illegal, but I've never liked marijuana. Other people have used it. I think that I know a lot of people use it, and whatever. And in Missouri, where I am at the very moment when I'm recording this, is longer here. It's legal, and so you can go for a walk, which I often do, and smell hot smoke everywhere. It's just everywhere. And you know what? I don't care. I don't care what those people do with their lives. I mean, it makes me sad if they're doing unhealthy things, but as far as wanting to regulate them, you can't regulate people out of doing every unhealthy thing that they want to do. People are going to eat too much, or they're going to not exercise, or they're going to use tobacco or marijuana, or gosh, they're just going to have stupid thoughts, or they're going to be addicted to Facebook, or people are going to do that, and you can't make laws to make people take care of themselves. You just can't. It doesn't work that way. Okay, so that one she had traced out already, and I am going to trace out a few more. That's all right. And I have a pencil, and I have a tracer. Let's see, we put a big one somewhere. I made these to make my life easier. and bumpy and lumpy and ridged and rough. That was pretty. So I'm not complaining. Well, that's another start. So back to thinking about addictions and cigarette smoking and stuff. I never really had any other addictions. I never had anything else that I couldn't help myself. I had probably obsessive behaviors. Like I went through a stage where I made, did different art things, different craft things. Like I made miniature, little tiny bouquets and pots of flowers and sold them to an antique store, who then sold them as if they were antiques, which is something. So what I really need is to mix a little bit of this with maybe a little, let's see, mix a little glue with it, see what that does. And a little black. I'm going for the thing you're never supposed to do. I got a full complement of colors here. Look how I want it. This is a theoretically, this black guy laying out here, like the green over it, and show you. Second, I thought, oh my gosh, I wonder if it's even in the, it's even visible in the camera. That'd be funny. Choose this color. So I always have this fantasy of putting really big signs, like duplicating old antique signs. It just would be so cool because I love to have old antique signs, but of course, to find an old antique sign that's in any kind of good condition is almost impossible. And then the cost would probably be prohibitive if you did have to have been stored in your old garage somewhere and be in pristine condition and, so I thought, oh yeah, there's enough photographs that exist of it. You can just duplicate them. I think that would be so cool. Maybe I will. This has been fun for the kids. It's been fun for me watching them do it. And helping them do it. Probably I have to expect him. No. Well, maybe that's not true. Because last summer, Sage, who was not 13, I painted a brick, put over the grave and that pretty well. And she painted it very colorfully with those exact same paints. Well, exact same brand, not my paints. It was her Aunt Libby's paints. And that brick is still in the yard and it's still as bright as ever. We went through a winter of snow and ice and rain and everything else. We made it. So maybe craft paints aren't so bad. Maybe I'm just being a snob, a paint snob. Sorry, I guess. I think that I mean. Touch it to right here. And I think that I will do so now, I have a good one over there. See that one over there. Unfortunately, my hair is drying, so I'm going to be getting very warm soon. I look when they're wet because I thought this would be better because it's so hot. But we started in on this, so we shall endure it. It's just really hard to send the pencil across this bumpy ridged old plywood. If I had it to do over again, here's an idea. I could have printed them or cut them out of colored paper and glued them on. Wouldn't that have been easy? Oh, what I thought. Oh well. Too late now. Let's see. Right there. So the next question is, what are we going to do with this giant? Anything? Snakes that the kids have worked many hours on and absolutely adore. And I don't know. It's going to live in Missouri, obviously, because there's no way to haul it back to Wisconsin at this point. There's no little wall we can put it on. I guess we could put it on the outside of a shed or something. Because if I was in Wisconsin, I'd go outside of a shed. Creamery, which is the cabin. Okay. I think we need another one right here too. Because the kids started putting the leaves on before we had a background, really, I don't know really what I could do for a background. I suppose I could paint around all these leaves and snakes and things that they put in here. It'd be tedious. Too many drips. Oh, this is most nice. A little close to it. Supposed to storm later on today. The same front that's been hitting Wisconsin is now going to hit Missouri. Kind of an angle. And yet everybody needs water. This is true. Every place needs rain. I'm sure the farmers in Wisconsin, just like the farmers in Missouri, are thankful for the rain. But man, oh man, it sure puts a damper on your fun in the middle of summer when it's, you're anticipating 4th of July and you're thinking, oh, this is going to be great. And then the weatherman says, oh, actually, it might rain on the 4th of July. And then it might rain for days afterwards, and it just made me driving 700 miles. Let's try a small brush. Whoops. Drips the dust. And today's a bread making day too. Just bread later on, maybe when it's raining. Okay. How's that look? Alright. Maybe we need to have another dark one like that one over there. Over here. Wet now. Then it's dry. So Spencer drew these snakes. So I think that I shall While I'm waiting for that to dry, I think I will, unfortunately this got put together. I think that I'll do that. I think I'll make a blue one. Let's see. I think I'll make this one. Maybe I'll make this one here. Oh, I'll do it again. Ugh, this paint is so gross. Doesn't last forever. So I don't make resolutions, New Year's resolutions. So I'm not going to call this a resolution, but I did have kind of a thought. What I'd do this year is my goal would be to use up some of the massive amount of art and craft supplies I have. And I'm so thankful that people give me more. I mean, I just really love doing new stuff. It's just so fun. But the truth is that way too much in my my area for creating is very small. So it'd be better if I got rid of some of it. But I can't bear to get rid of it like throw it away, so I just have to use it and make stuff. So that was the purpose behind, or not the purpose, the purpose behind making the snake videos, because it would be fun, and it has been fun. But the other purpose was to use it this paint, because it's old. I think I bought some of it for maybe Sage's 8th birthday, because I made a spinning wheel that you spin like at a carnival. It goes, it lands on a number and you go to prize and whatever. And some of this was that. Some of it was other projects that I've done. Boy, Spencer likes to draw very intricate stuff, I can tell. Okay, now I think I'll make a yellow one, because we've got a yellow thing here, so I think I'll make this one yellow. Let's gloss, we don't use gloss. Look, big crocodile. The X's on the eyes. I wonder if that means they're dead. I remember when I was a kid, in the cartoons, if some creature died, they had X's for eyes. But maybe they don't do that anymore because that would be not politically correct to have anything die. I don't know. Maybe they do. I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to put dots on this yellow one too for interest. Another coat on to cover the paint spots. Because it is just dark paint, it doesn't cover very well. Okay, now, let's see if this is done. Finger that's not clicking. Everything is cobwebby. Oh my god. It's cobwebs on everything. Yes, it does. Pink spider, so we're giving this homage to the spiders. Oh. Yes. Now, wrap that around. So we've been watching Leave It to Beaver lately. And, I don't know, I think that kids should watch more stuff like that. Because I was telling somebody the other day, who I was saying, that I think that kids today don't get patterned. Like if somebody has a car accident and they get hurt, and they lose their ability to do something, the physical therapist puts them through the paces of doing that thing that they can't do. Like, for instance, if they can't bend their legs, the physical therapist will bend their legs. If they don't know how to pedal bike, the physical therapist will pedal their legs like they're pedaling a bike. And I think that what we're not understanding about the kids today is that what we are patterning them to do, we get angry at them for doing it. And that is playing on devices all day. Because, you know what? That's what we're doing. So, watching Leave It to Beaver, here's these two little boys, mainly it's Beaver, who's an 8-year-old, and he's getting in trouble, but he's out playing. He's getting skinned knees and wiping snot on his sleeve and getting in fights and having moral dilemmas and all of those things that you want your kid to experience. But to keep video games and screen games interesting and exciting for kids, they do more and more fantastical things in them. And so kids kind of probably expect those fantastical things in their lives rather than the real stuff, which is, you know, it's mundane, but it's like, yeah, you're gonna wash the dishes, and then you're gonna tell a joke to somebody, and they're gonna laugh, and that's gonna be funny, and, you know, when are you gonna learn to do that if everything isn't exciting for you? So, yeah, that was my thoughts on watching Leave It to Beaver. It was interesting, though, as a parent watching it. It was old when I was a kid. I think it's old. But as a parent now watching, obviously the father is absolutely clueless. He is really horrible, and he doesn't listen to his kids. I mean, he obviously tries, and he's capable of learning, but his wife is the one who's teaching him how to parent his kids. And he jumps to assumptions, and he teaches them sometimes the wrong thing. Like, for instance, the episode I watched last night was Beaver had gotten hit in the eye by a girl. And he didn't want to say a girl hit him in the eye and give him a black eye. So he just said he'd been hit by a kid. And the father assumes it's a boy, and he starts telling him that he's got to learn how to defend himself, that he shouldn't let somebody hit him like that. You know, and so he was teaching him how to box, and so he could fight back, so that he could defend himself against this kid who hit him in the eye. And so he teaches them how to hit things, and the kid's kind of going along with it. Beaver's kind of going along with it, and then at some point he goes to beat up this little girl and decides, nah, he doesn't want to beat her up. And they actually can be friends, and they go and have a great day, and they do crazy things. And the father, I don't know that he ever apologized, you know, I don't know. I think that that's an important thing to do when you're a parent and you make a stupid mistake, is to say, man, I was totally wrong, and I'm really super sorry. Yeah, so that was interesting from a parent's standpoint to see this guy really kind of being a hard ass to his kid and jumping to conclusions, and the wife trying to pull him back down to earth and, you know, ground him in normal thoughts and behaviors, and sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't work. And she's obviously the sane one, and he's like, blah, go beat this kid up. Here, I want you to punch this punching bag and get really all fired up to go and beat this kid up. And yeah, so the end of it was, you know, don't beat people up, and you can have a great day and run around with your friend and chew gum and act like your teeth are busted out. And, you know, it's just a normal kid day. If it was a video game, there would be monsters, there would be loud noises, there would be spastic stuff. And I think that is what we're patterning our children to do. So sometimes this cake smells like chocolate to me. It makes me hungry. It might smell like chocolate, but it's just this big combination of the chemicals in the paint and the dust in the building. Really black. Intersect. There's a little bit of overhang that just gives it a better feel to me. So there's that. Let's see how that looks. Okay. some places where a little thin. Okay. What shall I do with those strips? Okay, let's back to the little snakes. Got a pink snake. Pink video. Let's do a pink snake. Huh. Let's start. Okay. Actually, we got some interesting things here. We got some things that show me whether he understands it.